Hey superheroes, it's Mr. Harold, and I wanted to talk to you about a really easy but really powerful strategy that you can use today as you read chapter 11 in A Wolf Called Wander, which is titled Almost. If we take a look at the question that you're going to be responding to in today's reading, it is what makes the almost wolf similar to Swift, but how is his life different from Swift's? When I see these words similar and different, it makes me think of a double bubble map. A double bubble map is what we use when we compare and contrast or think about things that are similar and things that are different between two things. In this case, two different characters in a book, the Almost Wolf and Swift. We've left space in between the two characters. That's because in the middle is where we compare or find things that are the same between the two characters. As we read, perhaps we're going to find that both characters wear funny hats. If that turns out to be true, then you would write down wear funny hats, put a circle around it, and connect it to both characters if Swift and the Almost Wolf wear funny hats. Perhaps we're also going to learn in this chapter that both the Almost Wolf and Swift drive monster trucks. Well, if that's what it tells you, then you write down drive monster trucks, put a circle around it, connect it to both of them. If that is true of both characters, if both characters have that similarity, if that is a comparison of both characters. Now, if the chapter tells us different information, then don't use my evidence. Use your own evidence that makes a lot more sense than mine. Along the sides is where you're going to write down things that are different about both characters. Perhaps this chapter will tell us that Swift is a huge Broncos fan. If that's true, you would write Broncos fan, draw a line around it, connect it to Swift, but you wouldn't connect it to the Almost Wolf if the book tells us that the Almost Wolf loves the Raiders. If that is the case, one, it would tell us that the Almost Wolf is clearly a bad guy, but it would also tell us that you should write loves the Raiders and connect it to the Almost Wolf if that is something that the Almost Wolf and Swift have that are different from one another. Now, don't make your circles first because you don't know how many things to compare and contrast because you haven't read the chapter yet. And I hope that you picked up on the fact that I was coming up with nonsense examples simply because I don't want you to use my examples. I want you to listen closely to the book, to read the book closely, and come up with your own examples. But I did want to demonstrate that things that are the same about the two characters you list in the middle, and things that are different you list off to the side. What I want you to do right now is grab a sheet of paper or grab your whiteboard, and I want you to begin this double bubble map, making a bubble for Swift and a bubble for the Almost Wolf, leaving space in the middle. If you have that double bubble map started with a bubble for the Almost Wolf and a bubble for Swift, then you're ready to start reading. If you don't have that started right there in front of you, I want you to do that right now before you start reading, because the easiest way to do this task is going to be to take notes as you read. So as the chapter goes on, as you learn about things that are similar between the Almost Wolf and Swift, you can make those bubbles in the middle. And as you learn about things that are contrasts, meaning different between Swift and the Almost Wolf, you can make those bubbles along the side. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but there is a magic button on these slides where if you push it, Miss Sandoval will drop whatever she's doing. She will engage the power of the internet and she will actually read the chapter to you. If you work on this double bubble map while Miss Sandoval is reading to you, then you will end up by the end of the chapter with several ideas of ways that the Almost Wolf and Swift are the same, or ways you can compare them, and ways that they are different, that you can contrast them. And then you can use that information to respond to the text, turning the information on your double bubble map into complete sentences and answering on Seesaw. So do your best, enjoy this chapter, and we will talk more about it next week.